As typical, we're going to give a few minutes to let people get in here. I'm going to do my usual spamming of selfish... Shameless self-promotion. Shameless self-promotion. So, allow me a few minutes. It's beautiful to see you. We're going to be working on something I've never done before today, and that's nerve-wracking and exciting all at the same time. So, give me just a moment here. Let's get the self-promotion out of the way. And we'll go ahead and get it started. Go. All right. Let's see here. All right, here we go. And more shameless self-promotion. Just a moment. Alright. Thank you to those of you just coming in and hanging out. I'm going to get started in just a few minutes here. And let's see here. almost finished with the shameless self-promotion here. Bear with me a moment. Alright, just about done. Once again, much appreciated for your patience as we do this self-promotion. Alright. Okay. Shameless self-promotion is over. I'm going to go grab a beverage real quick before we get started because I'm going to be here for a minute and I'm going to need to concentrate because I have never done this before. So, we're going to learn together. Give me a moment. Oh. Actually, you know what? Grab one other thing before I forget. Alright. Gotta replace the coils while I replace other things. Alrighty, so while I get this coil changed out, as the title states, you know what? I'm still missing one other thing. Just kidding. Hold a moment. Ugh. Okay, now we are ready to actually begin. Well, I'm ready to begin an actual intro on what the hell we're doing today. So, I'm assuming that the majority of the people who will watch this video are at least semi-literate, which means you will be able to read the title and see exactly what we're doing. However, in a No Child Left Behind method of thinking, what we will be doing today is attempting to mod out 2 PS5 Dualsense controllers with mod kits from eXtremeRate. I am unfamiliar with the company. I am not sponsored by that company. This is a job that I am doing for a friend of mine. Shout out to you, Seth, for allowing me to work on these and try my hand at something new and get these babies working for you. I have never done a mod on a controller before, so it's going to be interesting. I've taken plenty apart, but I've never actually added anything to them before. But I'm going to be watching an instruction video as we go here. So, I mean, realistically speaking, I shouldn't fuck up. However, I always leave room for that slight possibility that I'm going to fuck up. So, bear with me a moment as I continue to get myself situated for the task at hand. Alright, so let me grab a new coil for my vape. There we go. Alright, so I did do a little bit of research before starting this video, and overall it looks pretty straightforward. So I mean, we gonna see. Now, one of these controllers is already modded. It already has the gaming controller mod pack on it. I'm just going to be adding in some click triggers for the back. However, the other one is totally unmodded. It is base OEM spec, so it is all original equipment, and we are going to be doing a full-out mod on that. Now, because of my camera stuff, you guys may not be able to see a whole lot of everything that I'm doing, but I did do my best to make sure you could see the vast majority of it. So I apologize in advance. I am working on getting better cameras and things along those lines that will help me to continue to grow this channel and keep bringing you guys the lovely, so sought after and high demand entertainment that you deserve. Alright, so that being in mind, I believe I am set up and ready to go. Alright, let's do the damn thing. Alright, so what we're going to be working on, and the first one we're going to do, because I'm going to need to do all of the modding on one controller anyway, so we're going to do one kit. We're going to do the base model controller first. We're going to do the full mod on it. We're going to do the clicky triggers, we're going to do the gaming controller mod with the back pedals, the remapping, everything. So that is what we're going to start off with first, and then once that's done, we'll go ahead and take apart the already modded controller and just add the clicky triggers to that one, and we'll kind of go from there. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is what we're working on right now. Again, I apologize in advance for the camera work. This is the best I'm going to do for the time being, so bear with me. All right? All right. All right, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to take this controller and we're going to put this kit into it. It is the eXtremeRate. Let me give you guys the exact. eXtremeRate Black Programmable Rise 4 Remap Kit. So that's what we're going to be installing onto this controller. Alright, now I am going to be kind of jumping back and forth a bit here. So bear with me just a second. Let me mute. Okay. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is tear down this controller because I need to find out if it is a 010 or a 020 controller. I believe these are 020 because that's the kits that were ordered. But, again, I try to assume nothing. Always verify. So, let's go ahead and grab a spudger. And I won't be using the screwdriver that came with it because I already have my mechanical screwdriver, and that's what we're going to use. So, alright, let's go ahead and take this apart. So we start by, there we go. We're going to be removing these two buttons here, the R1 and L1 buttons. There we go. So these two buttons are going to come off. Easiest way to do that is just take a little spudger, get underneath it, and just kind of pry up on it gently. There we go, just like that. And it just pops right out. And we'll do the same thing with the other one. Just get under it, pry up gently. There we go. You hear a little pop noise. There we go. There we go. All right. Steady as she goes. All right. So once those two buttons are removed, you're going to notice there are little screws right down here. We're going to take those screws out. It's kind of hard to see with the way that my lighting is right now, but it is what it is. You can kind of see it. There we go. So those screws are going to come out. And now we're going to take off this middle frame right here. And the way that we do that is we're going to take the spudger and we're going to come underneath this section right here. So I'm going to kind of dig down a little bit and then pop up like so. There we go. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to press down a bit until you can get under the plastics, just like that. Boom. Alright, and then once you have that done, you can just kind of gently pull up. And I do mean gently, this is flimsy. There we go. Alright, and go ahead and slide this out. And you'll see how these two pieces right here will slide into the controller. So, just remember that when you're putting it back together, huh? Alright, from there are two connectors. One right here and one right here. They're little clips. We're going to go ahead and pop those clips. So we're going to put in a tool enough to just kind of give way a bit here. And there we go. Oh, we have to take the screws off first. Yeah, let's do that, huh? Let's be smart people. Well, before we do that. Alright, so there are 4 screws that we're going to start off with. And mechanical screwdriver is charged. Alright, so these are Phillips head screwdrivers. So we're going to go to our box O tips. And we're going to get ourselves, let's say probably a 00 Phillips is good. Alright, so the screws, let's see if I can get you guys to see them. There we go. So the screws are right here. Let's see if I can get you guys any brightness. Nope, not as bright as it's going to get. Okay, but you can kind of see the outline of the screw. So we got it right here, right there. And then the same thing on the other side. Right here in the little recess of the controller. Right there. And then the ones I already told you about and showed you. Right there. And right there. So we're going to take those out. Try and do this where you guys can see it, but go. I love the mechanical screwdriver. It makes my life so much easier. I'm going to move random parts out of the way so I keep everything at least relatively organized, because this is going to get almost completely disassembled. So that's going to be fun. But it's fine. Alright, so the reason I'm taking it apart right now, again, show you guys. The reason I'm taking it apart before looking at any of the installation videos is because to find out what version the controller is, I have to get down to the motherboard. So we're going to take the controller apart. There we go. We're going to take the controller apart, we're going to get down to the motherboard. And we're going to find out what version it is so I know I'm looking at the right thing. go. Yeah, sorry again for the camera quality, guys. It is what it is for the time being. Just bear with me while I get things worked out and improved. Okay, so now that the screws are out, we can go ahead and go back to that thing I was talking about with these little clips right here. So we're going to get something in between the clip, and we're going to use that to just push the clip out of the way on both sides. There we go, there's one, and there's two. So with those clips safely out of the way, we're going to go ahead and flip the controller over, and we're going to take the back plate off. There we go. You'll notice it'll just kind of pull right up over the trigger buttons. There we go. All right. And now we have a fully exposed PS5 Dualsense. All right, next step is to take the battery out. So we're gonna go ahead and take the battery out. And the battery connector is right here. If you're gonna use pliers, some people would prefer to use pliers. I've gotten comfortable with taking these out with my fingers. However, if you're going to use pliers to do it, please make sure that you are grabbing this upper portion where the wires are connected to, and not this lower portion down here that's connected to the board, because you'll rip that connector off and then you're going to have to call me to get it resoldered on, or you can solder it yourself if you've learned anything from my soldering videos. So, that being said, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the battery. So I'm just going to wiggle it back and forth real gentle like. There we go. Battery is loose. That's what the battery looks like. Standard lithium ion battery. I'm going to put that to the side. Alright, and then there's another screw right here. We're going to take that out to get this plate off. There we go, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and remove the plate. Plate comes right off. Well, actually we have to disconnect the speaker first, so let's go ahead and do that. There are two tiny ribbon cables right here and right here. Let me see if I can bring just a little further, a little closer in, I should say. I can't do my usual super close visuals. Okay, there we go. That's at least a little bit better. Okay, so like I said, two small ribbon cables right here and right here. So I'm going to take out the speaker. I'm not sure if it's the microphone or the speaker, but it's one of those two things. So we're going to go ahead and just loosen that from the plate, and go ahead and take that plate off. All right, from there. All right, so this is a 010. Alright, so Seth, if you're watching this, the clicky hair triggers that you got me are for a 020. I don't know that they'll work in these controllers. I will find out while I'm doing the rest of this. So give me just a moment, let me take a look and make sure I can actually do this still. Trying to see if there's any main differences as far as like pieces or components between the 010 and the 020. It seems like it's pretty much the same. We'll try it. I mean, that's the only thing we can do is try, right? Okay. So let me get to a point where it's not just disassembling the board so I can have it paused. Yep, remove battery, remove all that, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Alright, we'll give it a shot. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You got to get the right ones for the right controller. But either way, not a big deal. Right. Alright, so I'm just getting to a point in the installation video. Okay, there we go. And let's go back to this. Okay. Alright, so I'm literally following a video as I'm doing this because I've never done this kit before. I've never done any kind of modding before. And I want to make sure that we're not screwing anything up, you know? Alright, so click comes off. Alright, so seems like the next step it's telling me to do is to take out this little cable right here on the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and take out that little cable on the bottom. This one right here. Well, that cable does not have a locking pin in it, so that is being so very difficult to remove is really just rude. Alright, where's my good tweezers? I got some good tweezers here. There we go. Now, the good thing about this is, if I tear the cable, I have extras. But I would also very much like to not tear the cable. There we go. Okay. So the cable's out. Alright, and let's just take a look at things real quick here. Alright. Alright, so the cable is now out. And we're going to take out this top cable as well. And this cable is always a pain in the butt. There we go. Managed to get it. Alright, and I think it's going to tell me to fully remove the two side cables here. Yep, so it's going to have me fully remove these two cables. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Really gotta cut my nails. Alright, let me tell you something. I've done multiple PS5 controller repairs, refurbishings, and these connectors right here are just being insanely rude. I gotta go back up. Okay, there we go. And I could get it if like they had locking tabs or something along those lines, but they just don't. It's just being difficult for no reason. Alright, there's one. Okay, ribbon cables successfully removed. Putting those off to the side. Alright, so with the ribbon cables removed, go ahead and watch the next steps in the video. You guys are learning right along with me here, alright? I'm doing this step by step. Alright, so... Alright, looks like the next step is to remove the motherboard. Okay, well, that's going to be easy enough. Okay. Alright. And a couple more screws. We're going to move some of this out of the way and get you guys in here. So we're going to take out these two screws, these two white ones. Go, like so. Okay, and it looks like that's going to allow us to simply remove this entire piece. I think I missed a step. Hang on, let's see. Okay, so they're showing that it should just pull right out, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I have to take out. So there's two additional screws. It's kind of hard to see, but I got one right there and one on the opposite side right over here. Let me back up, let me take those screws out. Alright, so I got this one over here. Go, and then the next one is right over here. That screw's trying to be difficult, wants to play games. There we go. Okay, so now with those screws out, there we go, that was the problem. Alright, so this will just completely detach. There we go, like so. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take this portion and just set it aside for right now. This is going to be the section we're working on for the moment. Alright. So, from my recollection, we're going to be taking this touchpad portion off right here. Yep, that's exactly what we're going to do. Alright, hold on a moment. Let's see how they remove this. Okay, very much like that. Awesome. Okay. There we go. Alright, we're going to take the two screws out of the corners here. Keep those separated to make sure I know where they go. There we go. Alright. Okay, so now we're down to this here motherboard. Alright, apparently I'm going to need my solder gun, so let's go ahead and crank that up. Alright, so it looks like what I'm going to be doing so this is a Japanese edition controller. Alright, so what I can see is it looks like I'm going to be soldering, or at least putting some solder on this point right here. I don't like doing that with that cable that close, but I also can't remove that cable, so we're going to be super careful about it. Alright, so I'm going to put down a little bit of flux, just a tiny bit, to make sure the solder flows quickly. There we go, like so. This video's going far too quick. They're very familiar with it. I'm not. Let's move this out of the way. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and add a bit of solder to that point. Alright, so I've got a little bit of a solder joint there. Alright, and we are going to begin the first step of the process here. Very exciting stuff. Alright, the back case. There we go. Alright, so I'm opening up the first case, or the first package, and we're going to empty out the contents real quick. So let me pause the video. Alright, so first kit that you open is going to be the GZ046. There we go. PFGZ046. That is the first step in this process. Alright, so let's go ahead and move some stuff out of the way and empty out some contents, huh? Okay, that's the entire package. Alright, so let's swap back over. Alright, so what we've got here is a connector piece that's going to go on the back of the motherboard. We've got yet another connector piece that's going to go towards the front, I believe. We have this little wire, which is what we're going to be soldering first. And we've got a few other things that I don't think I got far enough into the video to know what they do yet, but we're going to find out. Alright, so I know first thing I need to do Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we need to solder this wire set the red varnish wire face downside. I mean, these both look pretty varnished to me. Alright, either way. There we go. So we're going to go ahead. Oh, let's not twist up the wire, shall we? Okay, this is where I had it. This is where it shall stay. Alright, so we got the wire right next to the solder joint. So we're going to go ahead and get that soldered on. It's already soldered there, so I'm just going to add a tiny, tiny bit to the tip of my iron. I mean, literally just the smallest little bloop, bloop. There we go, just like that. And we're going to come in. Good thing I didn't try yet. I don't like how this thing is moving on me. Okay. Jump back up here if you wouldn't mind, please. Thank you so much. Alright, there we go. Let's go ahead and carefully solder that wire in place. Right. So that is soldered. I'm going to take a little bit of rubbing alcohol, I mean a very tiny bit, and just give it a quick scrub with a cotton swab. There we go. Just clean off that flux that's on there. Okay. All right. Okay, so it looks like after that, yep, that's going to go back into its sleeve. Alright, so we're going to take our wire very carefully feed it through this side. And we're going to do the same thing with our ribbon cable. Go. Alright, so we've got the cable through and the ribbon cable. So this is going to come all the way through. Alright, then we're going to put the screws back in. So,
I need the grains box.
you need to what?
The grains box.
The grains box? Oh, the grains box, yes. Pause. What you need from the grains box?
Just the whole box.
The whole box. I thought you were saying grains like I usually do. I'm like, we ain't got no grains, baby. Uh-oh. There we go. Alright, we're back. Alright, and so once again we're installing the screws back into the touchpad. Ooh! Did the spinneroonie. Let's hold it down in place, shall we? There we go. Alright. So, wires fed through, ribbon cables fed through. Let's go ahead and back up, make sure I'm not missing anything. so now it's telling me to go ahead and reinstall. What I'm going to do, there are two removable plastic tabs right here. I'm going to go ahead and take those out. There's one, and there's two. So we're going to take those out. We can go ahead and lay in our touchpad. There we go. That'll snap into place right there. And we can go ahead and reinstall these back buttons here. There's one. There's two. Alright. So I believe that's the end of that portion of the... So we've got it all reconnected the way it's supposed to be. Alright, so we're going to move that off to the side for the time being. And now, we're going to come to motherboard side. So, alright, let me back it up for a second here. We're going to pause. Alright, so, what I need to be noticed of is, where are my pointy tweezers? Lots of them over here. We'll use these. That's fine. Actually, no, these seem to be my good ones. We won't use those. Yeah, these are not nearly as good. Okay. So, this point, can't really see what I'm doing either. Alright, so this point right here and this point right here are the buttons that we're going to be looking for, or the solder joints that we're going to be looking for right now. So, go ahead and continue on with the video. Yeah, those are the two that I'm looking at. Okay. Alright. So it looks like it's telling me to go ahead and actually get this part back here. Alright. Now this is a full mod. The steps that I'm doing are actually optional. If you don't want to map that way, you don't have to do this. But I'm doing it exactly as the video describes, so that's what we're going to do. Alright. Now this is where this little piece is going to come into play here. Okay. Alright, there we go. So, we need this right here, and this right here. Okay, well, it says that I need some kind of tape to keep it taped down, but I don't see that they included any tape for me, which is very disheartening. Let's see. Those are the clicky triggers. Well, the not so clicky triggers, I should say. Okay. Yeah, I don't see that they included any tape for me, which is not very nice. Let's see. Maybe I can solder the one joint down, and then that'll at least help to keep it in place. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to have to do. Alright, so let's go ahead tiny bit of flux down. Like I said, that's just going to help the solder flow onto this pad. These pads have leaded solder, or I'm sorry, unleaded solder on them, which does not melt easily. So, alright, so we're going to go ahead and boop, pause this video right here so I can see what I'm doing on the microscope. Alright, it's about as close as it's going to get. So we're going to go ahead and clean the iron real quick. Put some fresh solder on here. There we go. Okay, fantastic. That worked out well. Again, just the tiniest bit of flux. There we go. Just a bit to help that flow down easier. Keyboard's in my way. Let's get a little more fresh solder on there. Okay, there we go. Just want to make sure that pin was getting through all the way. Took it a second, but it got through. Alright, so we are good there. So that is fully connected now. So this piece right here and these pieces right here are soldered onto the points where the R3 and the L3 buttons are. That's what this part of the modding is for. So that's what we're going to continue on with. Alright, so on to the next part. Okay, so it actually looks like it wants me to reconnect some of this. Alright, hold a moment. That's through. Alright, I gotta be real careful about getting this ribbon cable in. Okay, like so. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and keep this part out. Alright. And so these can go back in now. These screws right here that we took out can now go back in. There we go. There we go. All right. So next step. All right. Move this red wire out of the way for right now. All right. So next step is this piece right here. Alright. Alright, so what we have to do is yet another solder joint. I'm not going to put any flux on it this time because it's already exposed copper, and I'm not putting it directly on the board just yet. So we're going to go ahead and these are labeled. It's kind of hard to see, but there's touchpad right here. You've got L2, L3, R3, R2, R1, a bunch of stuff all connected. So what we're going to be doing right now, we're going to clean our iron, and we're going to put a little bit of fresh solder, just a drop. There we go, and we're going to put it right on this little touchpad area here. You know what? We're going to put a little bit of flux down. How about that, huh? I have a feeling the people in this video are probably using Kester solder, which has a tiny bit of flux inside, which does make it easier. But I don't have Kester, so we're going to use flux. All right. And it looks like we're going to be soldering the other end of this red wire to that pad. Yep, that's what we're doing. So let me see if I can do this while keeping you guys in focus. Let's move this up a bit. It's going to be a task, but I think we should be able to do it. You guys can't see much of it. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and try and do this in one fell swoop. All right, there we go. So that wire is now soldered onto that board. Okay, we're going to move this back down. Alright, so what it looked like, just to make sure I'm not losing my mind. Yep, so this is going to go right here over the original button. And this just has two little tabs. You can push those right over gently so as to not tear them. These pads are actually what sends the signal to the motherboard that the buttons are being pressed, so we do have to be very careful with them. go. Alright, back this up. Okay, so now it's looking like we're going to go ahead and reinstall the motherboard. Let's move some cables and such out of the way. Alright. So I'm just reinstalling, attempting to reinstall the microphone safely. What I'm doing right now, you don't have to pay attention to. It's not part of the mod. I'm just making sure that everything on this controller is back to where it should be. Okay, there we go. Alright. Alright, so now we got a weird looking controller right now. So we're going to go ahead and continue on with the video. Okay, so it says to go ahead and reconnect this ribbon cable here. Well, this apparently got turned around backwards, which is not ideal. Let's go ahead and stop the video. And let's fix that. Alright, go ahead and take this board back out real quick. So I can get this one ribbon cable fixed. This one ribbon cable is giving me hassle. Okay, so that should be correct. Okay, Alright. I'm being super careful with this. I can normally make these things happen much quicker, but I am completely unfamiliar with this mod, and I am not taking any chances on any unnecessary screw-ups. Which, I mean, realistically, all screw-ups should be unnecessary. But, alright, there we go. So we're going to go ahead and plug this ribbon cable back in. And the ribbon cable is indeed back in. Okay, there we go. Alright, just had to find how that was going to sit properly, and I found it. Alright, so that done, now we can go ahead and reconnect this ribbon cable, like so. It slides right in there. Alright, and we can continue on with the video. Okay, so that ribbon cable is now connected. Oh. Time for new stuff, apparently. Okay. Alright, let's move this out of the way. Move this controller out of the way. Let's go ahead and examine the new contents. Okay, that is the contents. Alright, so we've got some ribbon cable looking devices here. Yep. Alright, so these are going to actually require me cutting a few things. So, let's again be super careful about what we're cutting. Alright, here we go. Alright, so because this is a 010, we need to remove the 020 tab that's right there. So we're going to go ahead and do that very carefully. Alright. There we go. Alright, now it does give us this little pictograph on the back here that we can match it up to and make sure everything is correct. Alright, because this is a 010, we want it to match up with this exactly. And it does. That's good. Okay, so let's go ahead and alright, so these are actually going on the left side of this controller, it appears. Or actually, it's going to be the right side, but it's on the left side right now. So we're going to go ahead and install it. So there's a little tiny plastic connector right down here. You can kind of see right there. That's where one of the ends is going into. There we go. Just gonna gently get that in there, as gently as possible anyway. Alright, there we go. And then, so now we've got that plugged in here, and that's going to fold over. I need to see how, though, because it's not really in the right position. Oh, do I have it backwards? You know what? I think I've got it backwards. Alright, not a big deal. Not a huge deal. Yep, that's why. That's why it didn't look right. Alright, so now we're going to slide it in the correct way. There we go. And we're going to fold this over. And we're going to reconnect that into this section right here. Okay. That appears to be fully connected. Okay, let's go ahead and back up a bit because this thing's been going without me. Yep, okay, there we go. Alright, second portion is this thingy right here. Alright, so once again, because this is a 010, we are going to be removing the 020 components. So you'll see those labeled on the outside there. So again, we're going to very carefully extend our knife out, line it up. Like so. And then we're going to turn it around because I'm right-handed. We're going to do the same thing with this outside one here. Like so. Right? And again, same thing. I'm going to match it up with the pictograph, make sure we did the correct thing. And it is matched up. This is good. Das is good. Okay. Got it matched up. Alright, so I'm going to move this out of the way. Alright, and so let's bring you guys back in here. So this one is now going to slide directly into that little plastic connector right here. Like so. There we go. And what I'm assuming is we probably have to fold this over. Yep, that is indeed what we're doing. There we go. All right, so we got it folded over. Okay. All right, so now it looks like we're putting the back plate back on, which is interesting. All right, so let's go ahead and okay. All right, there we go. Just trying to reposition the back part of the microphone into the bracket. I suppose you could probably screw it down first. Screwing it down first is probably the play. Probably the play. Alright. Grab one of my screws. Wait, there's nothing to screw it down to yet. What am I doing? Oh, yeah, there is. Okay. Black screw on black shorts, not the greatest plan. There we go. Okay. Alright, there we go. So that is now in place. Oh, this is a weird looking mod, I'll tell you that much. Alright. Let's go ahead and connect this back in. Okay, there we go. Alright, so the speaker's plugged back in. I also can't speak today, apparently. Alright. So, reconnect the battery, it says. So we'll reconnect the battery, why don't we? Actually, you know what? Before I get too far into this, you know what? Let's complete the mod first. Do I want to, though, or do I need to take other stuff off? I didn't think about this. Fuck it, let's complete the mod first, and then I'll work on the sticky triggers. Or clicky triggers, I should say. Alright. So go ahead and plug the battery in. Go. Alright, so the battery's plugged in. Move these wires out of the way. Okay. Alright, so the battery's coming in. Alright, now it looks like what we're going to be doing. We're going to be removing this adhesive. Okay, and we're gonna move that down. Okay. Well, it appears as though I've done something wrong. Okay, so let's not rip anything. We're going to pause the video. We're going to undo a bit of what we did here. Not a whole lot. But that's why we need to check our work. To be fair, it didn't really say anything about this when at least I didn't see if it did when I was looking at the video. There we go. Okay, there we go. Alright, situation resolved. Very simple. Alright, done deal. Back to what we were doing. Let's go ahead and reconnect the battery. Okay, battery's reconnected. Let's get it all not so entangled. Okay, now, there we go. That's much better. Okay, so now we're gonna fold this over to where this adhesive is gonna cover the battery plate. And so this whole piece right here is gonna be stuck to the battery. There we go. All right. Back up. All right. Basically, it's just telling you to kind of tuck the wire off somewhere where it's not going to be in the way of things. Okay, that's good. That'll do for now. Okay. It looks like these do have locking tabs, which is good, but I need to unlock them. And then we're just going to plug in these 3 ribbon cables. We got one that goes here. Do have locking tabs on them, so they will slide out easily. So I'm going to try and just get them positioned as well as I possibly can, and using my finger I'm going to try and flip the locking mechanism. Okay, this one is right here. There we go. Okay. Those are all the ribbon cables, it looks like. Alright, now looks like I'm putting a couple screws back in. Right, there we go. Okay, and grab another screw. Okay, Okay. Alright, controller apparently goes to the side. Now we're going into some plates and such. Let's go ahead and dump all this out. Okay, so it says there could be some leftover paint residue in some of the holes, so we're gonna check those, make sure there's no paint residue. I don't see any paint residue, so we're probably good to go there. Alright, now there's a bunch of little screws and shit, so hold on. Let me dump all those out here. Oh, whoa, where'd that go? I'm sure I need it. There it is. Hello. There's one tiny little baby one. Doesn't want to come out. Go to your home. Alright. So, let me see if I can move this a bit. So, yeah, there's a bunch of little stuff. Backing up some. Alright, so we're going to start with these buttons. And we're going to take these rods, it looks like, and slide them through. And apparently that's going to go into this piece right here. Okay, so apparently it goes like that. Am I using the wrong button here? It doesn't look right, but it is. Okay. Oh, I just want to make sure I'm doing this right, because it looks like it is slightly different design, but it does appear that I am correct. Okay. Alright, looks like we're going to do the same thing with the other one. There we go. Okay, I'm going to open up the container for the back. Okay, and so it appears that this plate right here is going to sit just like this. Okay. Looks like just the regular screws are going to go on there. So let's go ahead and grab a screw. Alright, there we go. I also can't let go of this plate on the back because then it's going to come out of place. So I just got to get it Just close enough. Come on. Hop on in there for your boy, huh? Yep, these appear to be the right ones. There we go. Now the rest of them will be in place, which is good. So go ahead and just set that down. Did you come out of place? Are you being real rude right now? Alright, let's try that again. I think that screw might be a little big. Let's try one of the smaller ones, I guess. Actually, it doesn't make any sense. Why would they make two different screw hole sizes for the same thing? They're not. They didn't. Yeah, they didn't. Okay. Nope, that one hole just wants to play games. Alright, not a big deal. We can play some games. I'm here for games. There we go. That's what I thought. Alright. Yep, just wanted to give me a hard time. Alright, there we go. Perfect. Alright, so now that's bolted on. You got the back right there with the triggers. Alright, so I'm checking the next portion of it now. Okay. Alright, so it looks like now we're bringing over the rest of the controller. Alright. I'm going to slide this through. Alright, looks like this also has a locking tab. Let's pull up the locking tab. Can you guys even see what I'm doing right now? Not really. Okay, so let me move this camera back a bit. Okay, so we've attached the back plate to the remainder of the controller, and there's a small board right here that this cable is going to feed to. Alright, so we're going to feed the ribbon cable to the board. My not so good tweezers. Don't need my really good ones for this. Need my not so good ones. There we go. Okay. So we've got that locked in place now. Alright, and then, so what it looks like is going to happen. So this board is going to become seated. Go like so. Okay, and then so it's seated just like that. And then once it's seated, I'm going to take these little baby screws and insert them like so. we go. That should be enough to keep that in place. Alright, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. There we go. Just like that. My guess is now we're going to be putting things back together, but let's see how it goes, huh? Yep, that's exactly what we're doing. Okay, so now that, well, yeah, let's finish the video real quick, and then I'll get started on the other portion of this. Alright, so get this all positioned correctly, snap back into place. Alright, then we got this little baby right here, this little piece, and this metal piece from earlier. Where did you go? There we go. Alright, so this metal piece seems to slide in like so. Yep, just kind of presses into place there. Alright, and then we got these triggers right here. Are just gonna go on to these little pieces that clip on. Oh, apparently they don't clip on so well. Alright. There we go. Like that, kinda. Same thing right here. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and move this controller out of the way a moment. All right. So this. Okay, so that's what it's supposed to look like. They just go into those little thingies that keep it all in place. I don't know the name of the thingy, so it is a thingy. Okay. And got a little button right here. Goes in there like so. Okay. Okay, well I see now why he did this with it in his hand previously, but basically what you gotta do they did not make this thing very easy to work with. Okay, there we go. Alright. mean, kinda. That's almost what it's supposed to kind of look like. Yeah, this design is not the best, man. Like, it does not want to stay put in the least bit. And every time I try to move one thing to get it in place, another one just pops out. Yeah, this is not a great design at all. I know you guys kind of can't see what I'm doing here, but I gotta keep it in my hand while trying to make these buttons line up the way that they're supposed to, which they don't want to do easily. Okay, there we go. Okay, so maybe that'll do it. Okay, let's see if I can finagle this. Okay. All right. Hey, how about that? Fantastic. Okay. Is that the end of the mod? I think that's the end of the mod. Okay. So, that mod is now in place. It is almost fully reassembled and ready for testing. However, we're not going to do that because we still have clicky buttons to replace. Oh, they even gave us a bunch of extra stuff, which I appreciate. But just make sure I'm not forgetting anything. No, I didn't forget anything. They just gave us a bunch of extra screws, which again, I appreciate. That's very kind. All right, so the mod itself is connected. That'll be the power connector once it's actually turned on. I'll have to actually run it to a PS5, I think, to map the buttons out. But either way, that should be fine. Let's go ahead and do the clicky switches on the back here. Alright, so we gotta be super careful now that this is modded. We're gonna be removing the back controller. Right. Alright, so same disassembly process. I'm just going to be removing all the ribbon cables and such. Alright, so ribbon cable, ribbon cable, ribbon cable, and we're going to go ahead and disconnect the battery. Go ahead and lift the battery out gently, ever so gently. Now that it's got a bunch of modded connections to it, I got to be really careful with that. Right. Okay, let's go ahead and remove this screw. Now, I don't know if I made it more complicated for myself by modding it first, but either way, we're gonna learn. We are gonna learn. All right. So let's go ahead and take off this plate. Okay, so I know that plate has to come off. And I know these two screws gotta come back out. No, you don't. Go. Okay. There we go. Screws, and what appears to be a board. Alright, so I do have to take these ribbon cables back out. There we go. Alright. No, I'm going a little too far in this video here. Let's back up real quick. I'm gonna grab these pliers because these pliers are far more effective at removing that ribbon cable. I really need to get smaller pliers, but it is what it is. Okay, so this motherboard's coming out. Oh yeah, I definitely should have done this while it was still in relative attachment. Okay. Alright, well, what's done is done. Alright, let's go ahead and we gotta pry off this sensor board here. There we go. Carefully, so we don't tear anything. Alright, once again, we will be removing these screws that I'm throwing everywhere. I don't know where that other screw went to. There we go. Okay, so these two white screws are coming out. Alright, there we go. Alright, so with those out, Release. Oh, I forgot to take out one of the ribbon cables. That's why it will not release. Oh, this is going to be a mess to put back together, I feel like. Okay. Alright. So now we've got, so these are, for those of you who've never opened up a PS5 controller, these are the sensor buttons. That's when you push the button. There's magnets on the back of them that activate the button and send the signal to the motherboard that that's the button that was pressed. Alright, backing up a bit. Alright. Off to the side, not mix them up with the others. There we go. Alright, and that drops out our trigger here. Yeah, I definitely should have done the triggers first. Oh well, it is what it is. Alright. Alright, so first things first for the triggers. There's a small blue ribbon cable you can see right there. We're going to go ahead and remove that. There we go. And underneath is a small screw. It's kind of hard to see, but there you go. You can kind of see it there. A small screw right there. We're going to remove that. Keep that off to the side. Alright, we're going to flip it over. And there are 3 screws on the back, it looks like. We got 1, 2, 3 screws. Screws running off on me. So we're going to take out those 3 screws. Alright, and then I think this mechanism just lifts off. Take a look at the video just to make sure. Okay. Yep, there we go. So that's the back cover right here. Alright, and we're going to take this little mechanism off right here. Okay, and this gear comes out. Alright, so it looks like there's a metal shaft. Yep, this little metal shaft right here. That's going to come out. And it looks like that button just kind of comes right off. Alright, so now there's the little conductive buttons right here. We're going to go ahead and take those out gently. I don't know if I need to reuse them or not, but I am going to be super careful about it just in case. There we go. So the rubber buttons are out. And the cable is being a bit of a pain. There we go. Okay, cable's out. Now it's empty. Alright, so this is what we're looking at now. Okay, hold a moment. Let's pause while I get things unloaded. Alright. Okay, so it doesn't look like these are side specific. Alright, so what I'm looking at, just so you guys can see what I'm looking at, are little, what appear to be sensors and ribbon cables. So, alright. Alright, so apparently what I need to do, first of all, move this out of the way. Alright, so there are what appears to be a new motor cover. Huh, interesting. Okay. Alright, so what I think I need to do is, it's kind of hard to tell from the video I'm looking at, but I believe this needs to slide into this portion here. Yeah, just like that. Yeah. It's not quite flat. Sorry, backing up a moment here. Yeah, okay. Yep, got it in the right spot. I feel like it's not sitting as flat as it should. That's got me a little concerned. There we go. Okay, now it's sitting where it's supposed to. Alright, so it should sit in like so. Let me give you an example on the other side. So there's an empty space. You'll see where that blue covered piece is right there on the ribbon cable. So that's where the mod gets slid into. It slides in. Now apparently I I need to slide this. I guess somewhere in here. So you guys really can't see, sorry. But you go and grab the trigger motor and basically just kind of slide this in and make sure it sits flat. So I'm going to try and do this with a set of tweezers. A dull set of tweezers, not my sharp ones. Where did I put my dull tweezers? Okay. Alright, almost, we're getting there. There we go. Okay. So that is now sitting flat. Okay. All right. So I need to make this slightly bigger. A little hard for me to see. Okay. All right. So it's going to sit like that for a moment. All right. And get you guys over here a bit. You can see more. Alright, so then you're going to take the actual trigger. Alright, so this makes me more than a little uncomfortable, but I'm going to do it. Because there's really no going back after this. Alright, so on this controller, you see that small piece that's sticking up right there? This little, grab tweezers. This little piece right here, right there, we're going to cut that off. I don't have the proper equipment to do this, so I'm going to use my box cutter. There we go. That did it, so you'll see it's gone now. No mas. Okay. And so this little piece has two small nubs that are going to go into the small nubs right here on the controller. Alright, fit in perfectly. Alright, seems like alright, then we're going to put the metal shaft back in apparently. Alright. Okay, yeah. Alright, so that little button I put in here fell out. So we're going to go ahead and reinstall it. And we're going to make sure that I didn't install it backwards, which is very possible, because it really doesn't show a whole hell of a lot. Yeah, I think I might have installed it backwards. That could be my problem here. Let's go ahead and flip it around. No, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Nope, I had to have had it the right way. Okay. Alright, so I had it the right way. Alright, not too far. Alright. Okay, there we go. And I just lost the damn thing again. Okay, this does not want to stay in for some reason. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, this button piece keeps dropping out on me. Ugh. Alright. Well, this is turning into quite the chore. Alright, let's see here. So, flip it around. Okay, so that is now in the correct spot. Going to very gently and carefully. Oh my god, what in the hell is up with this thing? I know it's in the right position. You guys probably can't see a lick of what I'm doing, huh? Yeah, sorry guys. Alright, let me move this way a bit. Okay. So this button installs right there. And then it's supposed to allow me to, but it doesn't stay. It does not want to stay. Why doesn't it want to stay? It actually looks like I might be putting it on wrong, which I didn't think I was, but I might be. No, it doesn't look like it. It's really hard to tell. Yep, no, I've definitely got it the right way. It's just when I try to... every goddamn time. Is it possible for me to not lose this goddamn thing? Ah, the frustration. Okay, there we go. Ugh. You know what, let's try a different one. I pulled two of them. Let's try the other one. Maybe that one's just a piece of shit. Alright. Okay, still in for now. Okay. Alright. I think that button's a piece of shit, but that's fine. Alright, so I was able to get the metal rod in with the new button, and it moves back and forth in place like it's supposed to. Tremendous. Okay, let's go ahead and back up some more. Alright, now we go ahead . Okay. Alright, so these 3 screws now go back in. And number 3. Now, I'm not going to show the other controller because the stream's already going a little longer than I expected it to, but I will, before we finish, take this into my PS5 in the house, because I don't have a test one available right now. But, yeah, we will give this a full testing. Oh, I guess it's supposed to do that now. Okay. Just make sure I didn't miss a step somewhere. Because, yeah, that takes the gear completely out of it, doesn't it? It's going to slide in. Yeah, literally right there. Yeah, okay. That's how it's supposed to go. Alright. Whew. Boy, that is something. Alright. I also lost one of the screws in my chair, so I'm going to stand up very gingerly. Yep, found the screw. Alright, there we go. Alright, then we're going to put this screw back in over here. Is that not the right screw? I feel like it should be. God damn it. It definitely looks like the right screw. Why are you being rude? You match all of the other screws. Why are you doing this right now? Yeah, that's what I thought. That is not the right one. There we go. Being real rude. Didn't want to work with me. Okay, so now I've got the screw back in. I believe the next step is probably going to be to install that ribbon cable. That would be my guess. Oh, my knee's locking up. Oh boy. Well, that's there's frustrations that come along with learning new things. It's okay to get frustrated, but we don't give up. Period. Bruh. Alright. And we stay hydrated. Yeah, okay. So it looks like the next step is going to be Yep. So next step is to go ahead and use the ribbon cable to tuck in. Okay. That appears to be all set. Once I got past the initial confusion, this was not as hard as it seemed. Now, I will be saving these parts for future consoles, or future controllers, I should say. All the parts that are discarded and no longer used, I will keep. Alright, so now we're just going to do the same thing again with the other side. So let's see if I can, let's see how good my memory is, huh? Okay, one. There we go. Now I'm going to clean these contacts before I reassemble everything, because any kind of dirt on these little contacts is a death sentence. You can get loss of signal on those buttons really easily. Alright, so go ahead, and I'm not going to be as careful with this ribbon cable now because I know we're not going to use it, but I do want to save it, so we'll be moderately careful. I feel like moderately is a good way to go about it. There we go. Ribbon cable off. That ribbon cable on the side right here. This one pops right out. Alright, so let's move down here. I'm going to do this without the video from memory. Alright. So this comes off. This comes off. Gear comes out. Metal rod comes out. Button comes loose. We will use box cutter to remove that nub on this piece of the controller right here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off. Like so. That's gone. Alright, I'm gonna try and use this piece of shit button one more time and see if maybe I was just getting too frustrated, but I'm pretty sure it's a piece of shit button and I have extras, so if I have extras I'm not gonna lose my mind too much about it. Okay, so we're gonna take our other replacement one. There we go. So we got our replacement one here. Go. I think. Yeah, I mean that's as flat a surface as I'm gonna get with it, I think. Yeah, pretty much. Alright, so we've got that button in place. And we're gonna come around. Oh, we've got to see. Gotta take this sensor button out along with this ribbon cable. Boop. Right. And we're gonna slide it into this portion of the there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna just push down real gently on this portion of the ribbon cable. There we go. Like so. Alright. And then that should connect like that. But before we do that, we need to... Yeah, okay. That button is trash. Trash button! Alright, we will grab another button. I have buttons. Okay. There we go. Okay. No! I had it. It was in place, and then it was not in place. Try and trying to do this in a way where this button decides it wants to work with me. Because right now it is not. Nope. Okay, well I've got one button left. So hopefully this button works. Take out this metal rod. Remove this button again. I'm going to use this button to press into here. Alright, so button sits like this. Okay, it's got to be something I'm doing. It can't be all three buttons are bad. I mean, it could be, but it's so unlikely. I've got the button in there. We're going to slide the metal bar into place. Okay. All right, we did it. All right, so now we'll put the trigger back together. Go. Yeah, these triggers are much easier than the other mod that I did as far as installation. It's just, yeah, small inconveniences that came into play. Alright, and fourth screw. There we go. Well, that screw does not like to go in, I'll tell you. Alright, so we're just going to fold this down. That connects in there. Alright. go. Alright, and screw number 2. Okay, so let me go ahead, bring you guys back over. So the triggers are now reinstalled, and they are quite clicky. I'm going to take a small amount of IPA and just wipe down those contacts real quick. So, I mean, just the gentlest little rubs. You don't have to soak it. Go. Alright, same thing here. Just a little gentle rubbing and soaking. Okay. So with that done, got it backwards. Well, that makes more sense. Okay. All right. All right. Trying to do this with all the new mods is an entirely different task. Okay. Yeah, doing this with the mods installed is a whole different beast. Okay, there we go. Finally got that ribbon cable through here. Oh boy. This is something else, I'll tell you. Okay, so now it's just reassembly, and we're gonna go test. Oh, so close. So close. All right. Okay, so that adhesive on the back of this is not really great because it's already coming loose on the back of that mod pack. So I do have some super glue. If it requires it, I will use it. I would prefer not to because I don't like using super glue in electronics. But if it requires it, it is what it is. Okay, just getting these ribbon cables all attached back. Go. All right. And now, sorry, I know you guys can't see a whole lot right now. It's just awkward with this mod getting everything in place. There we go. Okay. There we go. Really did not want to cooperate with me there. Go. All right. Screw. Okay. Also, let's not forget the side screws. Okay. So, slide the battery in. Battery is connected. So we're getting the last of the ribbon cables in now. Come on now. Okay, that locking tab is in. Okay, and that locking tab is in. Alright. I don't think I'm forgetting anything else. Alright, just fixing this microphone on the front here. Okay. All right. Finishing touches. You and I both know that you are the correct screw. I know you're the correct screw because I put you aside in the same place I always put the screws. Okay. Alright, so your friends have all gone in there. Now you're gonna go in there. Because you're gonna do the right thing. Aren't you? That's right. That's right, you are. Okay. Reinstall the buttons. I just push back in like that. Just like that. And for this, slide those back in. Alright. There we go. Fully reassembled. Alright. Man, those feel super weird. Okay. So let's go ahead and go over to our game testing pad right here. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and connect the controller up, and we're going to make sure that it works. I didn't destroy the dang thing. Alright, so we've got good stick movement. Stick movement good, yes. Okay. Yep, stick movement good, stick movement good. We've got buttons. All buttons work. Okay, start and select. Alright, we've got touchpad, which means touchpad can be mapped. Yep. Alright, so everything works. Let's go see if we can map it. So I'm going to dislodge you guys for a moment here. And I'm not going to be able to see the stream either. So just keep in mind. All right, so I'll definitely take a dinner there, system. Absolutely. I still got another one to do for you too. So, all right. So let's go ahead and go do some testing real quick, shall we? It's fine. All right. Come on. Gotta do some testing real quick. That looks and smells fantastic. All right. So, we're gonna hook this up to my PS5. And we're going to turn my PS5 on. Alright. And alright. So let's just go ahead and hop into a game real quick. We're going to jump into Elden Ring. So we're just going to test out the mapping. Alright, let's see if we can move jump to hang on. Do I need to turn it on or something? Hang on, maybe... Oh, maybe it's already mapped. Maybe that's what it is. Okay, hang on. Let's take a look. Let's see. No. Okay, well, it's got power to the back, because I can see that. I just don't understand. I mean, everything's plugged in correctly. The controller itself is fully functional. Okay. Perhaps I'm doing something wrong. Perhaps I don't understand how the remapping thing works. So, let's take a look. Maybe there's something I'm not understanding. Ugh. Try and keep you guys propped up here. Ooh, my hair is atrocious. All right. Let's see. Okay, there's the whole thing. Alright, let's mute that. Oh, this is for the exact one. Interesting. Oh, I see. Okay, I see. I see. Okay, let's go try that again, huh? Okay, so there we go. All right. So I figured it out. We're gonna jump back. Oh, hello, kitty. All right. So what we gotta do is we're gonna just okay. Aha, that is it. Fantastic. Yep, so it is fully functional. That's awesome. Okay, so now I've mapped this back trigger to the jump button, and it works. That is fantastic. Alright, we're going to go ahead and disconnect this controller. Now that we know it's fully working, actually, I do want to test the clicky buttons. Yep, clicky buttons work perfectly. Yep, clicky buttons work awesome. Alright, well, that is that. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. Oh. And we're going to go ahead and go back out. All right. Oh. All right. So we're going to go ahead and end it here. I do have another controller that I have to put the clicky back buttons on, but I'll do that off camera. I've already been live longer than I thought I would be for this one. But I will go ahead and get that one done as well. This was fun. It was frustrating, but it was fun. I'm definitely glad that we were able to actually get it done. We persevered through the frustration and made it so we did something that I've never done before. And that's a good experience for me. I like learning new things and persevering through the things I don't understand until I do understand it, and yeah, that all makes it well worthwhile. That being the case, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Seth, I will see you on Tuesday for our Dungeons & Dragons session, and these babies will be ready and waiting for you. And otherwise, to the rest of you guys, enjoy the rest of the weekend. I will see you all next week. It is going to be a busy week next week. I have another Xbox One X that needs a video chip replaced, I'm pretty sure, or possibly a hard drive, and I have 3 PS5s coming in, all broken. So it's going to be a busy time. But anyway, I love you guys dearly. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Please leave a comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff, yada yada yada, YouTube nonsense. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And I will talk to you guys next week. I'll see you